Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is the day. It is a very exciting day today. Mom Magic, Moms for Change has released an ebook. It is on Amazon, and I am beyond excited to be here today. So this is our Light the Torch ceremony, and we are just here to celebrate and let you guys get to know the authors a little more, hear about, why they chose to become a part of the book and what their message is and all the amazing things. This book is such a special book because these moms they're advocating to make a change in the world, and whether it's for themselves or their families, whether it's for the world, whatever it is, they are working to make a change, and they are doing it while being moms and while living life and while doing all the other things. And it is just a truly amazing thing. So we are going to dive right in. I'm Angela, by the way. Hi, I guess I should do that part. So I am Angela. I am the founder of the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur and the Mom Magic book series and movement. I truly believe that moms can change the world. And I believe that, these moms right here are leading that change. So without further ado, we are going to dive right in. So I'll start with Andrea. Andrea, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a bit about why you chose to join Moms for Change and what your chapter is about.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So for me, it's evening, 10 o'clock. I'm in Bali right now. My name is Andrea Pospišilova, and I'm an energy manifestation coach. And why I joined is I have 3 kids myself, and I'm also teaching them all the important stuff that we want to teach our kids as moms. But I realized that a lot of moms, a lot of women generally are kind of lost and don't really know how to deal with their energy and how to manage it for their own benefit. And it's not really so difficult. So this is why I started my work. What I'm doing now, I've been doing it for the last 6 years. I've been doing energy work on different fields for more than 20 years. And I decided to join this book because I really believe that it's a great way of putting all what we have learned, not just all of us that we contributed to the book, but also our clients that we work with, and that a lot of the women that will read the book, I have a nice reflection. So a lot of the women that will read the book can learn from it and also pass it on. So that's why I joined.
Wonderful. And what is the title of your chapter, Andrea?
All right. My title is Electroshocks, No Thank You. And that's because I survived really is the right word, postpartum depression, and it was really tough. And this was the sentence that got me onto this whole track of coaching moms and coaching women. That's what they wanted to do with me. That's how they wanted to treat it. And I just said no. And I did it my way. And I really think that was the right choice.
Amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you chose to join us and you shared your story. I really think it's going to help so many women. So thank you, Andrea. All right. So we are going to pop over to Stephanie. Stephanie, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your chapter?
Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie. I am in Green Bay, Wisconsin. My topic is the power of your thoughts. That's the title of my chapter. I am a mother. I have been challenged pretty much in every step and every aspect of that. So really staying motivated. It's my goal to really touch women and motivate mothers, let them know they're not alone no matter what they're going through. I kind of start a little bit of telling a rough draft of my story, but I really want to motivate and inspire moms, women. I started my own company called Styled by Stephanie. I'm really trying to create a legacy to pass down to my future generations. Through this, I do a lot of motivating, business developing, I'm now an author. But otherwise, I do a lot of personal styling services for my customers. And the whole point of what I do is really to try to help women, men, anybody be the best versions of themselves, to feel confident, to be able to tackle their day with a healthy, positive mindset, and to really encourage positivity through just the power of the way we think and the way we talk to ourselves. It's just, you never underestimate the power of your thoughts. That's where the true magic is.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And did you say the title of your chapter?
Yes, it's the power of your
Yes.
thoughts. So I love working on this project. It's very personal, near and dear to me, and all of you ladies are amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's amazing to
Yeah.
have you here. All right. So I am just going to jump a little bit. I'm going to go to Renee because I know that Renee has a meeting as well this morning. So Renee, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a bit about yourself, why you joined the book, and the title of your chapter.
Thank you so much, Angela. This has been like the best experience, and I guess the outlet for me to kind of share, why I do what I do in my everyday life. I'm a mom of two, and I live in New Hampshire. I started a publication right before COVID while being a stay-at-home mom, because I was looking for that outlet for me to kind of use my voice and use my story to help other people, and I felt that there was such a dormant space in my life that I wasn't utilizing my story to then help other moms or other women like myself. So I developed a publication that really highlights inspiring people who are very, very successful and really utilizing their success to influence the world. And so I kind of aligned with a lot of nonprofits and did a lot of work through that. But my chapter is Unleash Your Capabilities and Make It Happen. The reason why I wrote about that was because for me, it was the fear of not believing in myself for so long and holding myself back from the things that I wanted, that I knew that I wanted for so long, but that self-doubt, that voice tells you that you're not good enough, you can't do it, who do you think you are, always kind of paralyzed me in my own life. So that's what I wrote about, is change within yourself so that you can be the change in your family, in your community, in the world. When you believe in yourself and you believe in your capabilities, there's nothing you can't do. So for me, it was that turning point in my life to really kind of believe in myself, believe in what I could do, and now share that with other moms and other women who may think they can't do something, or they don't have the capabilities, or they're not good enough. So I kind of talk about that in my chapter.
Amazing. Thank you, Renee. And you know what? I mean, myself, and I know so many other moms can relate to that feeling. And knowing that, they have something inside of them, but that self-doubt, it loves to creep in.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So next we will go to Marie. Marie, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everybody. I'm tuning in. It's just past midnight here in Australia. So my beautiful chapter is called Coming Home to the Womb, Rising into the Sacred Feminine After Miscarriage. And miscarriage, right? All of these taboo topics that women go through, stillborns and our bodies and periods and all of these things that growing up as a young girl, perhaps we don't really get to know about. And on my own journey, I have one beautiful daughter who's almost 7 now. And in the journey of expanding my family and meeting myself in these expectations of what it was to be mother, what it was to be wife, teacher, because I'm also a teacher, and these roles that we place on ourselves. And during this experience for me, it was this process of stripping away everything in the unknown, in the aloneness of going through trauma, going through not knowing who I was anymore and my identity, and feeling really lost and surrendering to that. And in that surrender and in that feeling of grief and allowing myself the permission to not know and to be in all of that and to experience what that was like and to have people hold me in that and to pull myself out of that and come back to, well, is this what I want for myself anymore? Because it was a whole process and I had 3 miscarriages in a 9-month time frame. So these stories we tell ourselves of hope and wanting this for ourselves, and then that just breaking away, and again these thoughts of unworthy and I must be broken, there must be something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, and all of these stories we tell ourselves that strip back, make us come back to this essence of, well, I need to listen to my body, I need to come back to feeling these emotions that I thought I felt and coming back to a place of self-love. And it was in understanding the feminine and this beautiful space of motherhood that has been created by you, Angela. Like, what sisterhood is here? What power is here in the feminine? And you can feel the passion and this understanding of the chaos that we experience in motherhood, as well as the calm and the beauty and the power of love. Like, this is what my chapter's about, and my journey into the self and journey into the feminine and this legacy we were talking about. Somebody was beautifully talking about legacy for your children, and in healing myself and in healing the power and the empowerment piece of, if I don't lead myself and understand my body and understand my cycle and my energy and my emotions so that I can be the best version of myself, then who is this person that is leading this life? And coming back to my flow and my energy and the feminine, I created this new business called the Menarche Project. And Menarche is our first period. And I work with teenage girls and I see the self-doubt and I see the questioning. I see these teenagers in front of me that don't want to speak up, that feel little and feel less than and feel unworthy. And through me teaching in the arts and in English and whatever magic I do in the classroom, it's like, let's bring more of that to our youth. Let's bring more of that to our mothers. And that's the legacy that I want to leave in this world for my daughter, for my family, for all the future generations that come after us, because we are going to be their ancestors one day. We are the permission pieces for the future. So that's why I engaged in this project and said yes to these opportunities and meeting you all and inspiring people and mothers to change. So that's me.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing and for being a part of this. So one thing I do want to mention really quick, once you've spoken, or if people have spoken, I might take them out of the fancy screen here, just because StreamYard does only allow 10 people in at a time. And I do know we've got some ladies waiting in the waiting room, and I want to just make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to come on and talk. So it's not personal. I love you all very deeply. But I want to make sure everybody gets a turn. Okay, so we are going to welcome Alina.
Hi, my name is Alina Munter, and I am from Sweden, from Gävle, Sweden. It's about 2 hours above Stockholm. And my chapter title for this book is called A Change for Postpartum. You Are Meant to Feel Whole, where I write about my own personal experience with vaginal pain and also how today women unfortunately aren't getting the best medical service after they have been pregnant. During the pregnancy, we are often so much taken care of, and there is like I don't know how many checkups, very many checkups, once a week, once every week. And then afterwards, it's just like you get to one checkup and then you're left on your own. And here in Sweden, there is a saying that can be translated to English like everything looks fine, which is a very common saying when the medical system can't find out the problem, why women are suffering from pelvic pain or pain during sex or prolapse and a lot of other women's health issues. So this is a change that I am very positive for in the world, and I want to create for future generations, like Marie were mentioning as well. So something that I've that has been working with women around this pelvic healing and mothers especially, is that when you are suffering from pelvic pain and other intimate issues, it hinders you in your everyday life, and you can't be the present mother that you want to be for your kids. And you want to be the mother that can take your kids to the playground and not being held back by your body, which unfortunately isn't the case for every mothers out there. So this is a change that I really want to see in the world, that we will better take care of our mothers, because our mothers has been giving us life. And if we can't help them when they are suffering after that, how are we going to value life in our life? So that is something that I'm really passionate about. And also, like Marie were talking about, I just want to see the ripple effect of everything, of the goodness that we're spreading in this world. When the mother is feeling good and can be the best mother she can be, this creates a ripple effect where she can be a better mother to her children. And then the ripple effect of that is just spreading out. So that is something that I'm really passionate about, and what my chapter is about.
Thank you, Alina. That's amazing. And it's so important. And I really, the first thought that came to mind for me, listening to you all speak and hearing, your topics and how you're sharing, is this is what happens when a group of women, when a group of mothers come together and we talk about real things. We talk about vaginas or pain during sex or miscarriages or stillbirths or insecurities and self-doubt. We talk about the things that are so often tucked away in the shadows, and we're, we feel shame and about them, and we talk about them out loud and publicly, and we open up and create space for other women to say, hey, me too. I feel that. I've experienced that. I need to talk about that. I need someone to hear about my pain, my vaginal pain, my miscarriage, my stillbirth, my first period, my guilt and shame, and I need to be heard. And it is such a powerful environment that's created when women come together and share honestly and talk about the things that we've been conditioned to not talk about because it might make people uncomfortable. And we sacrifice, we sit in discomfort so that no one else has to. And it makes me emotional because I'm so privileged to work to create this space where women speak openly and share so that we can empower mothers around the world, women around the world. So thank you. Zilvia, I'm going to let you go now while I collect myself.
Touching because we all went through it. So my name is Sylvia Stone. I'm originally Hungarian, married to an Englishman, and I live in America. I never thought all this would happen. My chapter is called Stepping into My Life Purpose. And how it turned about. So we moved to the US about 11 years ago. It's going to be 12 years this year. And we were trying for a baby for a very long time. Finally, it happened. And then when my son was about 17 months old, I had a for pregnancy. And I felt something's going to go wrong at birth. And it did. My daughter was without oxygen for ages, and she had such a brain damage that they kept her alive for a week, and we had to make the decision to take her off life support. So that was, that was quite challenging. But I did ask God, I always ask for signs. And I asked 2 signs: for her breathing to come back and her kidneys to come back. Her kidneys came back, but the breathing never came back. So I knew she has to go. And I was at peace with that. And then I prayed then that, dear God, I'm not a spring chicken, because I was 38 then already. And I said, please give me a healthy little girl before I turn 40. And that means the year after, right? And then guess what? 20 days before my 40th birthday, my daughter was born. And she's super smart, super healthy. So I got my miracle girl. And then you would think, okay, that's great. Everything is going to go fine now. You know, I'm going to have my healing. I have a healthy baby girl and a boy. But no, it wasn't the stop. 5 weeks after my daughter was born, we found out my son had severe autism at 2.5. So dealing with that, then a newborn baby. And then when my daughter turned 10 months of age, I gave her some, the Danone yogurts. And we didn't know she had severe cow milk allergies. So she stopped sleeping. And for 4 years, she was up every single night between 3 to 5 times. So honestly, if that doesn't make you tough, then nothing. And, when you say that, oh, God gives you only as much as you can handle. And I thought, well, thanks. I think you gave me really a handful there to deal with. And the thing is that, thinking of postpartum depression and the loss of my daughter and everything, I didn't even think of it until recently. I didn't even know I was depressed, because you are just in survival mode. And basically, before I had my daughter, I was drawn to Reiki for some reason. Everything is happening for a reason. And so I was big 7 months pregnant when I qualified as a Reiki level 1 and 2 practitioner. And literally Reiki kept me alive those years of not sleeping and doing everything else. And then the intuition came, I have to start up my healing company called Sophie's Healing Haven to honor my daughter. And I asked my fellow Reiki master what she thinks. And she said, that's no good, because it doesn't have Reiki in it and it's too long. So that put me off for a whole year of doing it. But then it came back again. And then I said, okay, well, obviously it's coming back. I have to do it. And then, so I used Reiki to help to heal my son from autism. I have to say, I'm super happy with his progress. He started to speak at 4.5. He was declared moderate autistic at 5.5. He's in a mainstream 3rd grade class now with a bit of help. And he's speaking, he's reading, we have our challenges, but it's awesome to see his healing, because it is possible. And so the my message through this chapter is that no matter what life throws at you, you can get through it. For me, what was hard is to find myself. So when my daughter started to sleep finally 2 years ago, I started to spend money on myself. I joined some courses with Bob Proctor to self-development and many other things. I wasn't ready back then yet to make my quantum leap. And constantly since then, I'm doing courses and learning about myself and how to deal with life, and indeed how to use your thoughts to manifest. So I'm learning to be a life coach as well. And I actually do that with my Reiki clients, helping them to find a better themselves and heal themselves, love themselves. I give them affirmations, everything. Excuse me. So that's my story about. And I'm just extremely honored to be in all of your presence and to be chosen to be one of you to represent myself in this book. I find challenging to consolidate all what I have to say in 1,500 words. I think that was, first I wrote it was 3,000. I said, oh shoot, how I'm gonna make it to half of this. So I really hope that the message goes through with that 1,500 words as well. But I just want to say you are all awesome, and we all go through these things, and you are much stronger than you think you are. So that's my message. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you so much for sharing and for joining us and being such a strong member of this team. So, hooray. All right. So, sorry, sometimes the comments catch my eye and I'm like, ooh, amazing. All right. So now we will invite Regina to share. Regina, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me and including me in this. I'm so honored to be a part of this and with all of you ladies. You guys are so inspiring. I'm in Reno, Nevada, and the chapter of my title is Mental Health to Building Wealth and Everything in Between. And, you know, obviously becoming a mom changed my life dramatically. And I was diagnosed bipolar when I was 4 months postpartum. And that was a huge challenge for me, being that I had struggled with my mom's mental health all my life. And so I was embraced and held, and there was an amazing community for me and allowed me to heal. And I just want to share that story with the world and just be a huge mental health advocate so that moms get the support that they need after, you know, postpartum, and just making sure that it's like we're destigmatizing mental health and that we can talk openly about these mood disorders and that it's okay and that there's nothing wrong with you and you can live a fulfilling life and have a diagnosis, and it doesn't mean that you're going to end up on the streets like I saw my mom do. And all the while that this was happening, I was an extremely passionate entrepreneur. I had been a successful food truck owner for 6 years. And I also learned how to build wealth and to start investing. And so I want to share that information also with other passionate entrepreneurs who might be struggling financially or not even really know. And then also being able to pass that knowledge down for generations to come so that children know how to build wealth as well. And I also felt like comprising my story into 1,500 words was extremely hard. So I like crammed it all in. And another piece that's been on my heart is helping high achievers quit drinking, because that is something that I overcame as well. And making alcohol small and irrelevant in my life and for my family has also changed. And I would like to do that for other mamas and people as well.
Thank you so much, Regina. And thank you for sharing and for speaking so openly, for creating space for other women to connect and speak openly as well about their mental health challenges. Thank you. So sorry, everybody's shifting around here on my screen. So now I've lost my little stream of who I'm going to. It's okay. It's okay. Emily, why don't we have you hop in here and tell everybody about yourself, why you joined the book, and about your chapter.
Okay. My name is Emily McMaster. I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada. I recently started my own business after I worked as a youth worker at a government treatment facility for youth for 14 years. I was diagnosed and put off work with PTSD. And it wasn't until then that I realized how awful my mental health really was. And my chapter of my book is called Mission Possible. And it really kind of narrates my journey becoming a mom. Becoming a mom is something that I dreamt of as a kid. It's something I just always wanted. And once I became a mom, it was like I didn't realize, because I had fantasized about it for so long, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. And learning my experience as a youth worker, seeing kids that have been through all these traumas and kind of taking some of that baggage home. And I learned that over time, I was starting to kind of numb myself, and then feeling all this guilt and shame for not being present with my kids, and just getting in this cycle of just chasing peace, numbing myself out, chasing peace, feeling shame for not being present. So when I took the time off work, recovering from the PTSD, I was really able to kind of give myself permission to start taking care and loving myself, realizing that that's where the gap was, is I didn't learn how to love myself. I didn't learn how to have compassion. So in the moments where I wasn't showing up the way I wanted, there was just a lot of judgment of like, why am I like this? Why am I doing? I want to be a mother. Why is it so hard? And really just fighting myself all the time. So it wasn't until I learned self-care, so asking for help, taking time when I needed time, instead of feeling the guilt of, for me as a mother, it seemed like you always had to be present. Your kids are first, no matter what it is. And to give myself permission to put myself first at times was really, truly what I needed in order to fully give my kids what they needed. So filling my own cup is what I learned how to do, instead of trying to give from an empty cup all the time and then just being frustrated and everybody being frustrated. And then feeling all the things I needed to feel in order to really kind of empty out a lot of that. The generational trauma is what I talk about in the book, is, as a kid, the people around me, the mothers around me, I always felt their love just hitting differently, that nurturing, giving, loving energy. That's what I want it to be. But I could always feel this other, thing kind of going on underneath the surface. And when I became a mom is when I realized it's just this generational trauma of wanting to please so much, to please other people, and putting everybody first all the time, and really neglecting my own needs to a point where I didn't even know what my own needs were. I didn't trust myself, always looking for other people to kind of validate me. So I guess I'm hoping that with my chapter, I'm able to reach other moms that maybe are feeling the same, the self-doubt and the having that negative self-talk, and really learning how to reprogram a lot of that. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about how to break the habit of being yourself. And it really taught me to become mindful and learn the habits that I was thinking, the thoughts that I was having all the time of invalidating, of I'm overreacting and why am I doing this? And recognizing like none of those thoughts I was having were helpful at all to the mom I wanted to be, that loving, present. I was so worried about what other people thought, and if everybody was happy. It's like, as a mom, you feel like you're in charge of not only your kids' health and well-being, but you're in charge of their emotions all the times, is what it felt like for me. If anybody was off, it was, mom to the rescue. And then realizing that as a mom, it's not my job to take away your suffering. It's my job to be present with you in your suffering. And when I wasn't healed, that's what I felt like I needed, was for somebody else to rescue me. And that's what I always wanted to try and do for others. And so as I healed myself, I realized that the suffering made me who I am, and I'm strong. And it's through the suffering is where I realized the strength that I had. And giving myself, again, like I said, permission to love myself, to, as I grow and heal, and to stop judging myself. And I hope to teach other moms how to love themselves, to have compassion for yourself on this really hard journey. And like I said, my book called Mission Possible. So learning through my healing journey that this was a mission that I wanted and loved, and it's possible to do it in a way that you can find that peace, and do it in a way that I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with not being perfect, and I'm still loving myself, getting better and better all the time. And I want my kids to, I want to teach them how to love themselves, and to love themselves first, before trying to please. It almost feels like you try to please in order to hustle for your worth, or to feel like you belong, or like you're enough. And I want my kids to really love themselves so much that other people just love them because they're just loving themselves. And for moms to be able to have that compassion and love for themselves in this really tough, hard journey of things. They never go as planned. It's hard. And we keep just wanting to get better and be better. And yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much, Emily. I know so much of that landed for me. I can only imagine, how much it resonated with the other women and moms watching and that will be reading the chapter. So thank you so much for sharing. So Shauna, we are going to call up Shauna. Shauna, come and share with us the name of your chapter and why you wanted to join the book and a little about yourself. It doesn't have to be in that order. Sorry.
Hi. Well, good morning, everybody. I am super, super excited about this for pretty much all the reasons that have already been said. I mean, to be able to inspire and empower women to better themselves. I am a coach for mamas because we wear so many different hats. We have all the to-do lists. We are pulled in 5 different directions of whatever we need to be doing. And we fall into this habit of putting ourselves on the back burner to take care of everything else first and forget that you can't run on an empty tank. And it becomes a habit. And so I try to, kind of help moms pull themselves back from that back burner and take themselves first at times so you can fill up that tank and show up for your kids the best. What really drove me to change my course of my life was my children, by them watching me. They're going to learn by watching me and absorb what I'm actively doing. They hear you, but they really see you. And if you are living and walking the life to show them what they are capable of, that's really going to hit home. They may not realize it now. It might be like later on, and then you'll start seeing it come out. So that really drove home for me for changing what I was doing in my life. We also have, expectations on ourselves of what our life is supposed to be pictured like and what we're supposed to have and, how it's supposed to end up for us. And we all know that with circumstances and situations in life in general, there's bumps in the road, there's tornadoes, there's these things that always happen that change things up. And we have to be willing to be fluid with that and not so hard on ourselves, right? We end up being our own worst enemies. But at the same time, we are our biggest cheerleader. So my chapter is called Release Your Inner Power. And it talks about all of those things about, really when you need to, how it's already there. You just have to give yourself permission to let it out. So, and use it and practice it. It's like a muscle to build it up, right? So you can get rid of that negative self-talk so you can nurture yourself first and fill your cup up first so you can be your best for anything, your people around you, your job, set that example and walk the walk so you can cause the ripple effect with people around you.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you. That is, and it's so true. We do need to give ourselves a bit more permission to fill our own cups so that we can do the good in the world. I'm going here. Alicia, hop on, Alicia, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Good morning, ladies. I am Alicia Marcus Barong, and I am a pediatric life coach and a child hypnotherapist. The name of my chapter is Leading the Charge for Change, mainly because I'm older than all of you, and I feel like I opened the door for many. For many of us, we know that there was no book that taught us how to be a mom. And especially in my house, I lived in a house with a schizophrenic mom and a narcissistic father. And at the age of 10, I became the mother. I was the mother in my house. And so I felt like I never was a child. And so not until high school was I given the opportunity to realize I had value. And so I talk in this book about the fact that I carried that trauma of not knowing what a mom was and learned from the other women in my life, and understood that I had the value. And that's why I've spent the past 30 years working with kids and moms and families, trying to let them understand that they all have value and they all have gifts, and it's not always easy. And that came from not knowing how to be a mom and then ending up to be a single mom in a very leaving a very abusive household. And so I really wanted just to share in my book that no matter how old you are, you can still do the healing. And your healing, a lot of my healing came from working with children and women, because every day they reminded me that I had value to give. And I live in Crystal Lake, Illinois, outside of Chicago. I was excited about being part of this book because the fact that I didn't know how to be a mom. And, we learn as we go. And, but I also, when I became a coach and a hypnotherapist, nobody was doing that. And so that's why I say I led the charge. My most important statement is that my job right now is to empower other women and other people, to empower our young girls so that they will be able to celebrate their uniqueness and their power in the future. Our girls are in trouble. Thanks.
Thank you, Alicia. And thank you so much for being here and, just generally your never-ending support. It is such a pleasure to have you here. And
thank you so much.
So thank you. All right. Latrell, come on in and tell us about yourself and your chapter and all the good stuff.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Latrell Stinson. I am located in Oak Grove, California, about an hour and 50 minutes from San Francisco. My chapter, and let me back up. I am a mother of a 32-year-old son, and I'm also a grandmother of a 2-year-old and a 14-year-old granddaughter. And my chapter is Trauma is Not My Story. And the reason why I wanted to actually join this this book with all you awesome women is because I come from a very dysfunctional household growing up as a kid, where my father was very abusive to my mother. He was a great father to us, but he was a horrible husband to our mother. And so I became a certified life coach because I wanted to teach other women who have went through past traumas like I have went through, to let them know that it's okay to be okay, especially in the African American community. When it comes to mental health and things like that, it's such a stigma in our community where we don't reach out for help. It's nothing wrong for us. And that's why so many of us walk around wounded. Our souls are so wounded, and we sometimes, we're just a mess. We just really don't know what to do with ourselves. And we're here, we're there, and we live in survival mode for most of our lives. And I really didn't start dealing with my trauma until probably about 5 years ago, because that's when I actually realized it's something that is not right with me. I would jump from relationship to relationship, not loving myself, devaluing myself, not setting boundaries, just all the things that we as women and mothers supposed to do to protect our kids. Those are the things that I was not doing. So I wrote my chapter to empower women everywhere across the world, to let them know that trauma is not your story, that you can actually come out of that with seeking help, through therapy. Healing is very, very important. And what I've learned through healing is that you need to feel everything. Don't suppress anything. It's so important for you to feel every feeling that you feel in order to heal. And so I took the initiative to stop the dysfunctional in my family, and it stops with me. so that it won't go to my children nor to my grandchildren. So that's the reason why I joined the book.
Thank you so much, Latrell, and thank you for sharing and talking openly about, you know, how you overcame your traumas and how you're breaking, you know, those generational curses. That is so powerful and so needed. So thank you for sharing. All right, here we go. Okay. Katie, you want to come on in, Katie, and introduce yourself to everybody and talk about why you joined and the name of your chapter?
Yeah, I would love to. So my name is Katie Cheetah. I am a mom of three of 6, 5, and 3 years old. And my book or my chapter is on have your cake and eat it too, because I grew up in, my parents were older. And so I grew up in kind of the situation of, okay, you can have your career, you can have all that, but once you have a family, you just, you know, kind of put that on the sideline and take care of your family until you reach a point where either they go to school or they're more self-sufficient, and then you can go back. Well, a lot of women who were in the same boat, you know, they would go be 10 years and then they try to go get a job, and the corporate businesses would look at it and be like, you have no experience. It's like, you've been out of the workforce for 10 years. You don't know all the new stuff. And so, whereas, you know, you've been taking care of kids, you've been helping school them, you've been taking care of the house, maybe taking care of your finances, whatever it may be, you have the experience. It's just, you weren't doing it in a workplace. And so that's what my book is, or my chapter is on. And so that's pretty much me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katie. And it's so true. I mean, so many of us can relate to the idea that we pause to raise children because that's what we're encouraged to do. And then everyone's like, oh, well, we can't hire you because you haven't done this. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. I've done more. I'm probably overqualified. So awesome. I love your chapter. All right. Okay. Daphne, can you hop in here and tell us about yourself, your chapter, and you know how you're creating change?
Sure. Hi, ladies. Happy to be here. My name is Dr. Daphne Suarez, and I'm tuning in from Dubai. I'm really excited for the launch of this ebook. Basically, my chapter is titled Carousel Moms. That's the name of my business too. I coach moms to success, to start their own business and gain financial freedom. And being a mom myself and gone through that transition where I had a senior executive job and I had to leave it once I was expecting my first baby. So everything changed, completely became a stay-home mom and had to look after the kids. And also we moved to the Gulf. Originally, I'm from Pakistan. So we moved, we had no extended help or anything. So it was totally with me handling the children myself. And my husband used to work extremely long hours. So the traumas of being alone, not having an adult or a friend to talk to, unknown people all around. So I couldn't even go or contact anyone besides making a phone call back home to my friends and my parents. There's a real struggle. And then as the kids grew up and I did decide of going back to work, my struggles of not having any local work experience. Although I had over 13 years experience before marriage, no one would keep me because in the Gulf, you need to have local experience. And the struggles that I had, I asked friends and family and everyone. And I tell you that no one really helps. I've just learned to swim myself and struggling though. And you literally see the true colors of those who say, I really love you or I'm your best friend. When they see you drowning, you will really know who's your best friend. As my husband always says, a true friend is known when they are there for you in your hour of need. And that's when I stumbled on a counseling course and went on to do my counseling diploma. And I really loved it because it helped me to make the mind shift. I came from a generation of a people's pleaser, always caring about what others needed and that others were happy. And, we moms also do the same. We want always to see our kids happy, our husband, our partners are very happy, and that makes us happy. But in the long run, as time goes on, we tend to dry out. We need to have that cup filled repeatedly. We cannot give anyone anything from an empty cup. And that's what happened with me. I kept giving, 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 giving endlessly. I served even in my community. I started volunteering. I became a master catechist, teaching the faith and everything. Literally, it was like no time to breathe. It was the home, family, supporting the community. But here I was stuck with, not getting any work. As you, all of you know, once the children go to higher school and higher grades, they come home suddenly with a circular saying, Mom, so much money is needed for this trip and that trip. And you can't go no with your kids all the time. And it's really very expensive. So to cope up, I just wanted to support my spouse. And after doing the counseling course and making that transition, and I found how important it was to attend to my own needs, to help others. And as the analogy goes of the aircraft, when you board the aircraft, the air hostess always says, in the time of turbulence, put the mask first on yourself before the child. But we moms always run to help the minor. And that's when it was an eye opener for me to realize that, hey, I need to attend to myself. I do matter. And above all, when I love myself, I came to realize that I can love my kids better, because if I dry out and I get ill, what happens? The full home collapses. With that, I moved on into coaching, and that was something that I love because I don't like labeling anyone because of their past history. And this is the beauty of coaching. Wherever you want to go to the moon, I'll take you to the moon also. I won't say it because, someone was scared in your family to go, or there was a trauma or something. No, you can't do it. So that's the real beauty. And that speaks me to see the best and bring out the best in people. And when I came into coaching, my daughter came up with the idea. We were like brainstorming what name, what do we do? And she said, Mom, there's nothing better than calling it Carousel Moms. Because mom is juggling among so many areas in her own carousel of life. So having this thing, a mom needs to have the right balance to sing to the right rhythm of the music. A carousel disbalance, falls down, everyone gets injured. So I said, I love that name. Let's go for it. And that's where I am, juggling between work and home, creating that balance, and also empowering women globally to their success, to believe in themselves and know that, yes, they can do it. Because I believe that the power is within each of us. The problem that lies with us is that we look for help here and there. We can take the support of others, but we can have to do the inside work. If the inside work is not done from within, we cannot serve beyond. And now even my kids say, Mom, you're not the same person we knew when we were smaller. You're so friendly, you're understanding and caring. And my husband and everyone finds that, yes, I'm totally a different person. And I think anyone who's hearing this and knows me for the past 20 or 30 years would say, yes, she's totally made a very drastic transition. And more power to moms not to give up, because marriage and motherhood is not death or the end to life, but a new beginning. And what's more beautiful, if we moms are inspired, we inspire the kids. How do you want the new generation to change? Everyone says, oh, this new generation is terrible. I hope that they would be better and we could help them. The best people to help is mom, because kids spend most time with mom. So if mom is inspired in the best energies, she gives out the positive vibes. So my chapter is titled Carousel Moms. Didn't want to change that name at all. So knowing that moms are the carousel in their families. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daphne Suarez. Thank you for joining us, for tuning in from Dubai, for, always making time to, be a part of the group, even though the time zones can be a funny thing. And thank you everyone for tuning in today. I guess I should do a quick introduction of myself in addition to what I said at the beginning. But my mission behind the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur and Mom Magic and the Mom Magic book series is to empower moms and change the narrative around motherhood. Moms are the single most powerful group on the planet. We have so much power to create change, and yet we've been told that, you know, we are just moms. And I mean, that title makes my skin crawl. I don't believe that there is such a thing as just a mom. And I don't believe that any mom needs to qualify her worthiness with, well, I'm going to be working on this, or I also do this. I mean, we birth and raise the next generation of human beings, and we care in a way that, you know, at times defies logic. And we balance things in this mystical way, and it just floats, right? I mean, everything stays up and stays together, and there's still mustard in the fridge and toilet paper in the bathroom, and somehow everybody got to their places on time, and somehow, you know, the favorite stuff magically appeared, and somehow the day was fun. And that somehow is moms. And whether you're a, you know, stay-at-home mom, a work from home mom, a work away from home mom, a, you know, homeschool mom, a vegan mom, a, you know, chicken nuggets and McDonald's mom, whatever kind of mom you are, I'm not in a box mom because the boxes are what, you know, make so much of the pain. You are perfectly right, however you are. And there is no additional qualification needed. You're born worthy. You are worthy. And you're amazing. And you get up every day and try again in a job that has no vacation and has no, you know, paid sick days or time off. You know, and it is a wonder to watch mothers do what they do. And really only other mothers can know just how much they do. And so my chapter title is, are you a mom? Can I have your autograph? Because I truly believe that is how moms deserve to be viewed. As, you know, who needs celebrities? We've got moms. Like these real life superheroes that don't wear capes because they know capes get caught in things, and they probably have some weird stain somewhere on their shoulder or their leg, and they don't want to know what it is because it's not that gross if you don't know what it is. You can pretend it's something else. And yet we make the world work. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you ladies for contributing and putting together such an amazing book. It is inspiring, it is encouraging, it is thought-provoking, it is change-making, and it is going to have an impact, and it is going to change the world. And I wouldn't be doing my best job if I didn't end this by saying, everybody go out and buy the ebook, because it is out there today, and we have the links and they are shared. And if you don't know where to find the ebook, talk to one of these ladies. This is an amazing book and everybody needs to have it. And hey, if you're not a mom, I'm sure you know one because you're on this planet, so somebody got you here. Gift the book. You don't have to be a mom to want to read it. And you know what? If you're not a mom, read the book anyways to get some insight, to gain some understanding. I mean, it's a really powerful portal to view into the lives of, you know, some amazing women, some amazing moms. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. You did it. Your book is out there and you are published authors. And now let's go share the message. Remind all your friends and family to go buy your book. Everybody, have an amazing day.